Good morning, happy Monday to everyone out there. My name is Kim and I am the owner of Kim Litchfield Photography, which, by the way, is actually going through a name change. It's changing to Kim Dell Artistic Photography because I recently just got married, so yay! The reason I am here today is I have decided to just jump in and create a YouTube channel. I have been watching an amazing photographer by the name of Peter McKinnon, who is a fantastic photographer, but also a wonderful and amazing cinematographer. And I've been watching his YouTube channel. It's been very inspiring, and watching his, which led me to others, which led me to various people telling me why I should have a YouTube channel. I've decided to go ahead and jump feet first into creating a YouTube channel. Mostly this channel is going to be for a couple of things, but mostly it's to document my photo journey, because I'm striving to become a professional photographer full-time. It has always been a side business, one that has been active, not active, active, not active, up and down, especially now with everything with COVID and whatnot, trying to get into a role of consistency, but also to really start treating it like a business. I created my original photo business back in 2005. I went to college and I know I wanted a degree. So in 2005, at 35 years old, I guess I was at that point. In 2000, I should say, actually, at 30 years old, I went back to school, graduated in 2004, and in 2005, at the age of 35, started my first photography business, which was Magic Effects Photography. And the reason why I started that was because when I got my degree, it was basically a graphic art degree. It was a bachelor's degree in digital art and technology. And at the time, because I was already in my 30s, I had been working at a law firm. So I basically had an established career. And when I graduated, the only jobs available to me were entry-level college jobs because I didn't have a whole lot of experience. And I couldn't leave my job because I had, bills I had to pay and whatnot. I guess it's just the life of an adult student. So I decided to start my own photography company because when I was in school, towards the end of my time there, I took several photographic classes for graphic designers. And it really kind of got that love of photography back, because technically I've been doing photography since I was 15. When I was in high school, there was never a time I didn't have a camera in my hand. I have albums and albums and albums of photographs, because of course back then it was film. So there was never a time I didn't have a camera in my hand. And then when I got into college, I still did it, but when I got to college the first time, I went to school the first time and wrong degree, left. It was a long story, but anyway, when I got through those years, basically the 90s, I kind of lost it. I didn't really photograph that much. I had a camera, didn't really do it. Sorta, I have some pictures, but I didn't carry it around like I did. And then when I went to school the second time and got my actual degree, those photographic classes that I took really kind of sparked that interest in photography back again. So I was like, okay, let me just do a part-time photography business. Well, now I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? So I started specializing in photographic classes. So I took this class through the New York Institute of Photography. I found a guy who taught weddings, specialized in weddings. I had every book known to man on photography. I had a huge library of books just in photography, and I learned everything. I lived, breathed photography for months. And then a friend of mine asked me, she's like, would you photograph my wedding? And I told her, I'm like, I've never done a wedding. And I'm like, okay. I guess that's what you do, right? As a photographer, you do weddings. Well, I shot her wedding, and I look back now and I look at those photographs and I can't believe I got paid for that. I just can't. They're really bad. I mean, really bad. But you know what? One thing I have learned as a photographer, and I've had to learn, is that everyone at one time sucks. And it's only through practice and consistency that you get better. And over time, my weddings, I got really good at it. I was very good. I look at some of my old photographs and I'm like, wow, I was really, really good. The problem was I hated doing weddings. Hated. Like dreaded doing a wedding every time I had one. But I was getting so good and I was getting so popular, brides were referring me and I was getting really busy, but I still had a full-time job. I had to work 40 hours a week, shoot a wedding on Saturday, do post on Sunday, and most of the time through the entire week. So I'd get off work, go home, go upstairs, and I'd start doing my post editing, building albums, building videos, all that stuff. So I got drained really fast. And at the time I was married, it wasn't the greatest support system in the world. It actually took 3 years of me consistently doing it and starting to make some money for him to go, gee, maybe you got something here. I'm like, you think? It was really hard, and plus I was doing portraits, I was doing senior portraits, I was doing some model portfolios, I was doing artwork, I was doing anything to practice my photography. But I eventually burnt out, and in 2010 I closed my business. I was like, what am I going to do, you know? And my whole life got into turmoil, you know. I got divorced, my mom suddenly passed, almost all of the animals that we had died. It was like one animal after another. It was insane. I moved from my 2,000 square foot house that I'd been in for 11 years to a 900 square foot apartment. And life was just chaotically up in the air, and I lost myself for a really long time. I didn't pick up a camera. I tried a couple of times, but the passion, that love for it just was gone. I didn't have a passion for anything. I stayed home, I didn't do anything. It was really hard. I tried to get out when I could. Friends tried to make me go out, and for a very long time, and I got some really, really toxic relationships, really bad stuff. But over time, I realized that my biggest problem was I was afraid of being alone. I'd been married for so long, I didn't know who I was anymore, and being by myself really bothered me. But over time, I started to realize, hey, you know what? You can love yourself, it's okay. I started appreciating my time alone and really starting to enjoy it. And when I realized, I said, I would rather be single than put up with the crap that I've been putting up with in these relationships. And when I finally came to that realization, that was kind of the turning point for me. When that happened, I made that decision. Literally a week later, I met the man I'm now married to. I'm very, very fortunate. He is an incredible man who's incredibly supportive in ways I never anticipated. I couldn't be any more fortunate and happy. So with that said, because I have this wonderful support, I got more comfortable with myself. I started getting that creative itch. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I need a creative outlet. So I literally was I tried jewelry making, I made candles, I did baking, because the idea is like, what can I do that I really love that eventually could turn into something entrepreneurial, that I could turn into a business, because that was always on my mind. But nothing really stuck. I was either not interested enough to really learn it, or it was too much work and it wasn't interesting, and you know, it just wasn't, nothing clicked for me. And my boyfriend at the time, now husband, kept, like, he was patient. He was like, you know, we'll try something else, we'll try something else. So one day, I saw my camera bag in the closet, and I'm like, you know what, maybe it's time to go on a photo walk. I hadn't done that in a long time. And if you don't know what a photo walk is, it's literally when you take your camera and you go to a destination place and you literally walk around and photograph various things that interest you. So I went to a town called Safety Harbor because I live in Florida, and I went to Safety Harbor and I walked around for probably 2 hours, and took some really great shots. But I got home and realized I don't have any editing software. I've been out of this for years, like 10 years or something, right? I actually downloaded a trial version of Corel because at the time I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to be able to get Photoshop because I didn't realize Adobe Cloud was going on at the time. So I downloaded a copy of Corel for a 30-day trial. I did a bunch of photo edits with what they had and what I could learn real quick. And I did a bunch of really nice photographs. I'm like, well, I haven't completely lost my eye and that's good. I sold 3 photographs. Sold 3. And I was like, and my then boyfriend said, this is what you need to do. You need to be a photographer again because this is what you do the best. Forget all that other stuff. This is what you need to do. And I said, okay. And he has been pushing me and supporting me to say, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I'm like, okay. And he's truly inspired me to get back into it. Before the pandemic started, I actually learned about boudoir and I started learning boudoir because I knew I didn't want to do weddings again. I'm like, no more weddings, no. So I said, you know what? I want to learn boudoir. There's a lot of personal, because I'm actually a personal life coach, a certified life coach, which helped me get through a lot of what I was going through as well. I said, you know what? This is great for personal development. It's great to help for women's self-esteem. Women have so many body issues, so on and so on. I said, I think I want to learn that. So I did. So I bought another program and I learned boudoir, and then I got a bunch of women to come in and help build my portfolio. I happened to know a woman who knew a woman who was a makeup artist. So we made a deal. She came in, she did a bunch for free, and then I started paying her. I got my first real client in, did a photo shoot, and did her reveal. She loved them. They were gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie, I did a really good job. She spent a ridiculous amount of money. I made an amazing sale. I'm like, bingo, all right, I got it, right? Booked 2 more, had a consult coming, March, shutdown. Boom, complete shutdown. And I was like, so now what, right? Now what? So I stopped, obviously, because I work out of my home. I can't have people coming into my home. So, what do we do now? So I'm like, well, I still need that creative outlet, you know, whether I'm doing a business or not. So I decided to learn product photography. And I did my first go around. And to be honest, it wasn't too bad. Bunch of that, and now that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm learning product photography, and then I've decided to actually do some on-location portraits. Because for me personally, studio portraiture, other than boudoir is slightly different, but traditional studio portraiture is not for me. I don't get inspired by it. I find it very boring for me personally. I'm not good at it. It's not my forte. My forte is actually macro photography. I love doing floral and artwork and close-up stuff, which is why product photography fits so perfectly for me. I love the idea of creating a scene and a story and building context through the product and props and textures and all that kind of stuff, and I love that idea. So I'm definitely going to be doing more and more of that for sure. But at the same time, I want to be open and have other streams of income, and that's why I'm going to do on-location portraits. So I actually have a bunch of shoots scheduled for this weekend to try to build up that portfolio again. And I'm revamping my website and whatnot. So the whole purpose of this blog is, or this channel, is to kind of document my photographic journey. I want to share my journey for those that maybe are just getting started, who are like me, who lost that love, you know, and then are getting it back and restarting to learn. So I want to share my journey, kind of accountability even too, is to make sure that, every week I'm making progress. I'm learning something, I'm practicing something, I'm editing something, always doing that consistency, to get going and go towards that business. The other reason for this channel is I learned that even though I may not be the super expert, I know more than people that are just starting, and they want to learn what I know. And as I learn more, I can teach. And I love to teach. I love to share what I know. Part of the reason I became a certified life coach was to share and help others get better. So I'm like, you know what? I just love to teach. So this is going to be a way for me to teach what I know as well. So I'm going to teach, photo lessons. I'm going to do photo walks. I'm going to have Q&As. I have all kinds of plans. So I hope that you'll join me on this journey. I hope that we can come together as a community and really learn photography. For those that have that passion, I find that photographers and other creators, whether that be cinematographers, whether that be traditional artists, musicians, whatever it is, we all seem to have this amazing community, and I really want to be a part of that. So once again, I want to thank Peter McKinnon for being an incredible inspiration. I've never met Peter. I hope one day that I do. I hope that we become creative friends, because he's amazing. And if you want to see some amazing cinematography, check out his YouTube channel. I'll actually put it in the link in the description. You've got to check him out. He is amazing and incredibly inspirational, and he is part of the reason I am doing this channel. And one of the things he says is it may not be perfect and you may not be 100% ready, but just do it, and my style and everything else will come in time. Hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of my journey. I plan on trying to make things a little bit more interesting than just me talking, because I know this is not that interesting, but we're working on it. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna do better things. I'm gonna share. So if you want to be a photographer and learn some photography and you're just beginning, this is a great place for you to be. So be sure to like this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell to make sure you get notifications every time I post a video. I hope you'll join me on my journey. I am so excited to share this with you, see where this goes. Ultimate goal is to someday become a photographer full-time. And once you get paid, you are a professional photographer. So technically I am a professional, but I've been out of it for a while. So I'm getting back into it. Let's do this together. I thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next time. So keep shooting, peeps. Love you. Mwah. Bye.